everything right, it was you and me.
Hello everyone, my name is 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓬 and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to it if you are new. And today we are going over all of the books that I read in January, which I love so many books that I read in January. I read 10 books and honestly I'm just so proud of myself because I have had a lot of changes in the month of January. Why was this month so long? For what reason? Like, it dragged. I feel like it's like that every year though. January just always seems to be like the longest month ever. I read some really good books. I've read 10 and I cannot wait to talk to you guys about them. Also, if you missed my February TBR, I literally just filmed that. I'm still dealing with this cold, sore throat, runny nose, so if I sound very bad, I'm very sorry. We're just gonna keep this video as casual as possible, like I did for my February TBR, because to be honest, I'm exhausted. It is now 9:30 and I've had 4 classes today. Just came back from a meeting and I just need to knock out. I need to go to bed. Let's make it casual and fun and talk about the books that I read in January in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys read in January. Did we have any parallels? Tell me if you read any of the same books as I did, and also tell me what is the best book that you read in January. I would love to know and add it to my TBR for future reference and maybe for a video. So anyways, without further ado, let's get right into all the books that I read in January. So the very first book that I read in January, honestly a great hit because it was also 5 stars, that is The Lone Wolf's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells. This is the most recent book in her werewolf shifter romance series and I just love these books. So we have our heroine and she is just so cute. I'm obsessed with her. She loves the color pink. She loves like the coquette aesthetic. She's just a very girly girl and she loves it. Then we have our hero who is the exact opposite, a mountain grumpy, barely showers, gruff is what I should say. These two find out they are mates and like it goes in the series, hero rejects the heroine. There's a lot that goes on. She's also like experiencing heat because she did find her mate and it's also like the first time that she shifted. Just so many changes that are going on in her life. She believes that her mate is actually going to be there for her and take care of her, and he does for the like mating aspect. But then after that he's kind of like, I'm out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You thought like this is how it's gonna be, me and you together? No, that's not happening. And she's pissed. So she goes on with her life. She's like, you know what? I'm not gonna let this like cloud my judgment. Like, she was such a hopeless romantic before and now it's kind of gone out the window. She's kind of just focusing on herself until something happens and he is forced to be entered into her life again. He has to help her out with something and it is phenomenal. I just cannot get enough of this series. There is such great groveling and each book is so different. Even though the hero is rejecting the heroine, there's different reasons as to why. Some make you think, oh, you're an asshole. Some are like, oh, that makes sense, that checks out. And they're just so good. And I don't think I could shout about it any more than I already have, but I'm gonna say it again. If you have not read this series, pick it up. I don't care. Pick it up and let me know your thoughts. So many of you guys have come back to my videos and told me, oh my gosh, just read this book, it was so good. And I'm like, as you should. And I told you, I was right. I'm always right about stuff like this. I don't know, but just pick it up, give it a try. I just love this series and I know a lot of you guys will too. The next book that I read was Under One Roof by 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓪. Honestly, I found out in January, like in the very beginning of January, that my like library at home outside of school has Libby, which I only thought you could either have like Libby or Hoopla. I didn't know that you could have both. So all these years I've just been using Hoopla, and then I found out that we had Libby and I have been abusing the hell out of that app. I love it so much. And so when I saw 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓪's things on there, I got approved for them super fast and I started listening. So Under One Roof is book number 1 in her 𝓶𝓮𝓭𝓲𝓪 novellas and I really enjoyed this one. It was 4 stars. It's a roommate romance, hate to love. I thought it was so cute, so adorable, and the one spicy steamy scene that we got was like so good. It was like, oh, this is really good stuff. Her heroine's advisor recently died. In her like will, she gives her house away to our heroine. So our heroine is excited to go live in this house. She just got a new job in DC, so she's like looking forward to it or whatever. And when she goes there, she finds out that she only gave away half of the house to the heroine. There's actually already somebody who is living there, who is that lady's nephew. So these two have to live together. He doesn't want her there. She doesn't want him there. Like, they have to work things out and work together and become friends, and also like spend times torturing each other, because they want the other person to move out, and I just thought it was really, really cute, so I gave it 4 stars. Then I read Even If It Hurts by Sam Mariano. So I have read 2 other books from Sam Mariano. I've read Untouchable, which is a very good bully romance. Then I read Descent, which is just like like so good but so awful and depraved. And then I read Even If It Hurts because I heard some other romance booktubers talk about it during a live show, and I was like, let me try this out, see if it's good, see if it's my vibe. I tried it out. I gave it 3 stars, sadly. And I really thought I would love this book because in the dedication it says, to Jacob Elordi, you are a fantastic actor. Is referencing Nate Jacobs in the show Euphoria, who is known to just be a toxic asshole who we hate to love and actually just sometimes just hate. I was really excited about this book because I was like, ooh, Nate Jacobs, give me all of this like toxicity. 3 stars because it was a little bit better than fine for me. I felt very manipulated while writing this book. I like to read about toxic romances when it's out in the forefront, when the hero is just being toxic outright, you know? In this book, our hero had a lot of like manipulating, a lot of like just like tendencies underneath. You don't know if he's good, you don't know if he's bad, and I just felt very manipulated, to be honest, and I don't really love that in toxic romances. I like to see the toxicness happen. I like to see it. I don't want to be manipulated myself, and so I gave it 3 stars. It was good. I definitely like the 2 other books that I read from her a bit more. Just wanted more from this book. And my camera's about to die, so I will be back. Okay, like I said, my camera died, so sorry if there were any angle changes. And then I read Stuck With You by Ali Hazelwood, which is book number 2 in the 𝓶𝓮𝓬𝓼 novella. And I found this one to be very, very, very boring compared to that first one, where it was so cute and there was always something going on. This one was just 3 stars. It was heavy miscommunication, and I just didn't like it. Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, it could be a 2-star because I have not thought about it since. It was just not as good as the first one. I don't love miscommunication, and this one was just really irritating, and I did not like the heroine. And then I read Part of Your World, which I've seen a lot of people talk about, and it made a lot of people's favorites list, and I ended up giving this one 4 stars. It's kind of a small town romance. We have a guy from a small town, and then we have a girl from the city. One day she is coming back from a funeral, I believe, wherein her car breaks down, and this guy is here and he helps her. He takes her back to his town. They hang out, get food, and then they end up hooking up and having a one-night stand, which our heroine is just shocked by because that's something that she never does. Going through like a nasty breakup with her ex-boyfriend, and she decides that she's gonna continue hooking up with this guy for fun. She's never done anything like this before, and why not just have a little bit of fun in her life? These two end up falling in love, but it's so hard because they're just from such different worlds. She's kind of like a local celebrity in the city. Her family's very like famous in the medicine world. They can't know about him, so sometimes I was so annoyed at the heroine. I was like, do not do this sweet boy like this. Like, he was so sweet. I was like getting so irritated with the way that she would like try to keep him a secret. But overall, I thought it was really, really good. I was shocked also. This book is fade to black, so be aware of that. At first I was annoyed because we were getting down to it, and then I was like, fade to black? You're kidding me. But after I got past that initial like annoyance, because I was ready, I didn't mind the fade to black scenes as much anymore. And then I read Jessica Cain's new novella, which is When the Farmer Met the City Girl, which honestly, at first I was creeped the hell out. It was giving, if you've seen X or Pearl, both movies, it was giving Pearl and X, like on a farm, kind of creepy. I was just not really, I was scared, to be honest. And then it ended up being fine because obviously it's like a romance, but it was really, really good. It's definitely not my favorite Jessica Cain novella, and I gave it 4 stars. Very, very hot. They were both virgins, virgin hero, virgin heroine, and it was fun. It was a good time. And then I read Parallel by Elizabeth O'Rourke. I saw it just from Piece of Books talking about this book, and she really liked it. I think it even made her favorites list, and I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I thought it was so good. It had me hooked from the like jump. I was just so intrigued. Our heroine has been dreaming about our hero since she was a child. She never has met him before. She's never seen him in real life. Just in her dreams, she has dreamed that I am married to this man since she was a child, and it really worried her parents when she was younger. She just has always passed it off as, oh, these are weird dreams that I'm having. Well, recently she is about to get married to this guy, and she has been having a lot of like fainting moments. She keeps like falling down, blackouts, and she'll wake up and thinks that she's with her husband that she's been dreaming of, and they're like, you need to actually see help with this. So she goes to the doctor, gets checked out, and imagine her surprise when the doctor taking care of her is the guy that she has been dreaming of since she was a child. It was so good. I really liked this one. And also, he's been having like weird premonitions, weird dreams about her as well. So these two really have to like come together and figure out like, why am I dreaming of you? What's going on? How do I know you? Because it's not just dreams. It's like they'll say stuff about each other's lives, and it's like, you can't just dream that. Like, they had to figure it out, and it's so good. And it kind of was giving me 𝓿𝓸𝓬𝓪 vibes in the very beginning, and I really enjoyed it. It left off on a huge cliffhanger, and I absolutely need to continue with this series at some point in the year. And then I read Mile High by 𝓼𝓸𝓬𝓪. This is another book that I saw go around a lot on social media for talkie romance, and I gave this one 4 stars. It was so good. It was an interracial couple. Hero is like the city Chicago's bad boy. He plays on the state team. Our heroine is a flight attendant on his team's private jet. They get off to the wrong foot at first. Like, he just is an asshole, and she's like, oh, you're an asshole. Why would I like be your friends? But then he's kind of like intrigued from her, because he's like, she really does not like me, and that needs to change. Like, she needs to like me. And so there's a lot of chase. There's a lot of like, I'm really not that guy. Like, don't believe everything you read about and like see on TV. Like, I'm not that guy. I'm a good guy, and you should give me a chance because you're hot. This book was really hot. I thought it was so much fun, and honestly there was a few like emotional things in here that was like, whoa. We also have a curvy heroine, which is always like just a good time. Great, love that. And I really like this one, and I gave it 4 stars. And then I read Bitter Secrets by Mia Knight, and this is book number 2 in the 𝓶𝓮𝓭𝓲𝓪 series. I originally thought this was a duet. Apparently there are more books in this series coming out, and I gave this book 3.5 stars, and I did receive an ARC for this book. I thought that this story was just very, very repetitive. We have Roth, who is the hero, just carting her to different countries, making her travel with him, and she's like, oh, why? I love to sleep. Like, it was just always the same cycle. It was the same cycle of Roth carting her around the world, Jasmine hating it, Jasmine asking him questions about why he is blackmailing her, and then obviously he's not going to answer, and then smut. That just over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely loved the first book. It was toxic heaven, blackmail, second chance romance, but this one I just really bored with, sadly. And also, the first book came out so long ago that I felt very disconnected from this world, from the story, and I just wish we got a little bit more of something after waiting so long for this book. And I didn't give you guys much about what it was about, because obviously there's a whole first book, but I have recommended that first book a few times, and I do really still like that book, so I would still give it a chance. And then I finished off the Queens and Monsters series by J.C. Jessenger, and I'm so sad that this world is over. These are mafia romances. They are so good. So I first read 3rd book called Savage Hearts, and I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. J.C. Jessenger just has this ability to suck me completely in. Like, she has me sucked in from the very first word, from the jump. I'm in it. I'm like, yes, what are we doing? Great, we're doing that. I'm in. Follows the heroine from the 2nd book, her sister. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie, this heroine did get on my nerves a lot, because there was a lot of self-deprecating remarks. There was a lot of just like insecurity disguised as a joke, and that's fine. You can be insecure, but I don't know. Sometimes I just want to read about like a very confident woman who's like, okay, I'm not as conventionally pretty as my sister Sloane from the 2nd book, but like, I didn't need to read about her like just tearing herself down. That's not really what I'm on, and like, I don't know, sometimes it gets a little annoying in romance books, but that only happened in the beginning, and then she stopped. So our heroine is visiting her sister Sloane and her new husband Declan. Has never met him before. They send a private jet for her, and she gets taken to where they are staying. At the same time, Declan has a little bit of an enemy. Declan killed this guy's like brother or something, and so now he wants his revenge, and he wants to kill Declan. So he starts spying, watching the house, and there he sees our heroine. He's like, what the heck? He's really taking, like, he thinks that she's like a hooker or a prostitute for Declan in front of Declan's wife, and he's like, oh, he starts to feel really bad for her, and he doesn't realize that that's literally his wife's sister. He like takes her, captive romance here, and he's like, you don't need Declan, like, you just don't. And she's like, I think you're confused, I'm the sister. And once he finds that out, he takes her, and he's like, yeah, no, revenge. and they fall in love, and it is such a good story. I thought it was so fun, so entertaining. Her smut is just phenomenal, and I just love all the mafia ties within this. We have enemies who are dating best friends, who are dating sisters, so now there's all these alliances. It's just too good. I love it. And then I read the last book in this series, which is Brutal Vows, and this one is really good. This follows Spider, who is Declan's right-hand man from the second book. I really enjoyed this one, but it was, I will say, my least favorite in the series. This one is a marriage of convenience. Our hero is engaged to the heroine's sister, but the sister does not want to marry Spider. She's in love with another person. Like, it's just not good. And also she becomes pregnant. So at the last minute, our heroine steps in and is like, I will marry you. These two have gotten off on the wrong foot the entire process of Spider getting engaged to the heroine's sister. She went through a horrible domestic abuse relationship with her ex-husband. She just is against marriage, and she's against women just having to marry just because they're in the mafia. She does not like Spider. She thinks that he's an evil person, but he really has to like let her know that he is not like her ex-husband who treated her horribly. When she steps in to take the role for her niece, not sister, sorry, niece, they're just very ecstatic at that point because there's already been so much tension and hate and lust that has transpired through like the whole process of him marrying her niece. It was really good. I didn't like this one as much as the other books, but I still gave this one 4 stars, and the smut is just fantastic as always with J.T. Jessenger. Those were the 10 books that I read in January. Like I said earlier, let me know your favorite books that you read this month, and also if you have made it this far in the video, leave me a snowflake emoji. It has been so cold in Virginia where I am for school, and I'm honestly hating it. That's why I'm sick right now. Like, the weather is just terrible. I'm so ready for it to be warm. I really am. And yeah, I'm wishing you guys all the best with February, with your reading, with your love lives, with your family. I don't know. I'm just wishing you guys all the love in the world. I love you all so much. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a big like and a comment down below, and also subscribe so you never miss another upload from me, and I will see you very shortly in a new video. Love you.
If I got one thing right, it was you and